Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing your June 2020 predictions. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you're rested. I hope that a lot of you are eating your pizza right now, sipping your Coca-Cola, or sipping your tea, or eating some ice cream or whatever. But sit down, relax, and let me get into the 2020 predictions that I see. Now I'm going to start with the shadow side. What is revealed to us by spirit regarding the shadow self and the month in general. Like, what does the shadow side reveal to us? Like, what are people experiencing? This is going to be a period right now where a lot of people in the world are affected by addictions. Now, when I say addictions, this doesn't have to be necessarily a substance abuse addiction. There are many addictions in this world. You could be addicted to social media. You could be addicted to food. You can be addicted to smoking. You could be addicted to playing video games, and you could be addicted to your laziness. There are many categories that we can fit into the word addiction, but I feel like a lot of people that are on a low vibration, which are struggling with this whole change, that haven't come to terms and are not vibrating yet on a 5D type of dimension, the fifth dimension of consciousness. Those people are struggling. A lot of people around the world are struggling, and some are have fallen into those vices of drug addiction or other unhealthy coping mechanisms. We're seeing this because, again, we have to face our addictions. We have to face the things that are dark in this lifetime so that we can get ahead and elevate and kind of get to the point where we are healed. So if you are going through one of these kind of addictions, the message here from Spirit is to seek help, to talk to someone. You're not alone. A lot of people have a lot of shame in their addictions, whatever it is. They don't want to talk because they feel like they're going to be judged by other people, but not actually verbalizing how you feel and getting that out to people. You are keeping all of that energy trapped, and it's going to eventually kind of break you down in so many ways. So people throughout the month of June are going to struggle. There's going to be a set few of people. This is not the whole world that I'm talking about. This may not even apply to you, but there's going to be people that you will notice that are struggling with that. There are people also that are going to be struggling with anger. There's a lot of anger, a lot of repression, anger at the state government, anger at the stimulus check already gone, anger dealing with our landlords, the people that are renting and renting a space or paying a mortgage. They're having trouble because either they're unemployed, they are homeless right now, or they they don't have the money right now to make those payments. And people, we're going to see a lot of erratic behavior. You're going to see a lot of people going off with their guns, a lot of people getting physically violent in stores. You're going to see a lot of our youth losing it. A lot of the kids that are being homeschooled right now, that are having to do, since they can't be in a classroom environment, they are losing it. We're going to see crime rates going up. This summer, I feel like a lot of kids are going to be very erratic. They're going to do a lot of violent things, and it's because of the energy that it has followed with the pandemic, the 5G technology as well. It has created a disturbance in the matrix, a disturbance in the way that we are acting. A lot of people are going to be also doing things that they normally wouldn't do, like a person walking down the street naked, or a person walking down the street and jumping in front of traffic. Like, I mean, that is how crazy a lot of this energy is, that it's getting to that point where people are going to act irrational. Some of you out there are going to be facing some obsessions. This could be you, like, obsessively looking at your social media, obsessively thinking of someone that you were in a relationship, but perhaps you are no longer in a relationship. There are some unhealthy obsessions, and this is all part of our shadow work, our shadow self that we have to work on, because the inability to do that is going to cause you to feel repressed. You're going to struggle all throughout the entire month of June, and even it could trickle into July and for the remainder of the year. So you have to catch these behaviors. We as individuals, as soul beings, know exactly like what is our fault, like what is our area that we can improve upon, what are our outliers. When we start talking about analytics, and we get into that world of analytics, like I used to be an analytical an analyst, a business analyst. So you need to look for outliers in your own character, in your own life. What is outstanding? What is contributing to maybe a poor communication with others in your family? What is contributing to maybe a poor routine for yourself? What are you doing to yourself that you're not taking care of yourself? You're staying up really late, and then you get up really, really late, and then you get nothing done, and maybe you miss appointments and whatnot. So, our children that are out there, and those of you that are parents, your children are a product of your whatever you do. Whatever you see, they will emulate. Again, keep in mind your thoughts, your words, and how you are, communicating, especially in front of them. A lot of you are going to be finding peace in the chaos. So this is so weird how this comes through, but peace within the chaos. So a lot of you are going to feel like, you can't move on and you can't get out there. But the whole consciousness, the whole thing that we're seeing right now, that we're going to see in the month of June, is a lot of people rising up against state governments, people rising up against the federal government, people that are done staying at home. They're done quarantining. They are done with this social distancing. They need to get back out there. A lot of people can already and are able to and want to get back out there, but the government is turning this in, not the government, but the state governments, because that's where the power has been given. President Trump gave the governors of each state the power to reopen their state. But what we're seeing is a political agenda among a lot of states that primarily are liberals, and they are not going to want their states to reopen, not because of fear of the COVID-19, but because of the fact that this is a political agenda. They figure in many ways that if they can suppress the whole, that they will actually, win something or have some kind of effect on people, and the people will start blaming the federal government. Listen up, people. This is not coming from the federal government. Everything that is happening in your state, that your state governor is not opening up, it's coming from the state governments. So a lot of people are going to rise up. A lot of people are going to be seeking revenge, meaning that they're not going to listen to state rules. They're going to open up, and a lot of cities are going to allow them to open up and have jurisdiction over their own city and ignore state policy, because a lot of cities that are smaller are going to be noticing that their economy, their tourists, the people that were coming in, a lot of these small businesses are going to close. But at the same time, I feel in the long run, a lot of the larger companies, the franchisees, are going to be the ones that are going to be affected and actually close down. I feel like a lot of the smaller businesses will eventually survive. And I feel like this is a creative time. So when I get into the positive things, now we're going to stop focusing on the shadow self and get into the positive things that I see. I feel like there's a lot of enabling that is, this whole pandemic has kind of risen the consciousness. It has raised the bar for a lot of people are actually going to start making action plans and business plans and opening up their own businesses and seeing how can they use their skills and their mindset to work for themselves. And actually, we're going to see a lot more of small mom and pop shops surfacing, getting and applying for their business license, applying for, whatever they need, permits, whatever, to kind of operate out of their city, county, jurisdiction, wherever they're at. We're going to see a lot of people being motivated to do so. We're going to see riots like you haven't seen it before. We're going to see it. We're going to see a lot of people kind of rebel against the state government and rise up, because a lot of people are simply fed up. We're going to also see another stimulus check or some kind of stimulus money, but there is red tape when it comes to this. Spirit reveals to me that even though you may have qualified for the first check and got it, and some of you may not have even received it yet, there is going to be some kind of red tape going on. Do I feel like they will give $2,000 a month for the next year? No. Could they possibly give $2,000 a month for the next 6 months? No. Could they possibly give $2,000 maybe for another 2 months or 3 months? Quite possibly, but we will have to see. Like I said, I don't know everything that's going on. All of these messages are me channeling spirit, giving you the tea from spirit. I'm not the one that's making this up, or giving you whatever I think is going to happen. These are not assumptions, but actual messages from spirit, and spirit is not wrong. They usually are not wrong in some way. They may not always hit the mark. Sometimes they can be. But I trust my spirit guides. I trust what I'm getting from spirit. I also feel, like I said, if you are going back out into the beaches, going out, whether this is the West Coast, this is the East Coast, Atlantic or Pacific Ocean, be careful. I had taken to my Instagram, to my social media platform, and I had posted on April 19th, 2020 on my Instagram that I had a vision that was very prophetic, that the sharks were going to be going closer to the surface of the ocean, to the closer to the edges of the beach, to shallow waters, that there were going to be a lot of casualties, and there were going to be a lot of people injured because these sharks are acting erratic. But it's not just the sharks. You're going to notice a lot of you that are listening to this podcast or listening to this predictions, that if you have a pet like a dog or a cat, a lot of those of your pets are going to not act the same. A lot of them are going to be more mellow, more chill. A lot of them are going to be more erratic, and they may not be as affectionate as they have been before. You may see them having some kind of withdrawal, going up to their doggy bed or going up to their kitty bed, wherever they're at. They're going to create distancing, not because you're around now more in the house, but because the energy and the 5G technology and all of this is disrupting the matrix. It's disrupting our consciousness, and a lot of the animals that are very intuitive are feeling this. They are empaths. Your dogs, your cats, your baby hamsters, whatever you have. A lot of these animals and creatures of God are all intuitive, and they are feeling it the most. So we're going to see a lot of wild animals even out in nature, reptiles, mammals, anything like that, tigers. They're all going to be acting erratic. We're going to see that, but please heed my warning. If you go, like I said, not too long ago, a couple of days ago, a guy in California beach was killed by a shark. Okay, a great white shark, if I'm not mistaken, but whatever it was. Stay out of the waters that, if you're not in a boat or a big boat or near the edge, stay away from surfing or going deep into the depths of the water this summer, because a lot of you could be regretting that, or you could have friends that are regretting that. Again, it's not safe. I don't care if it's down the river or even a lake. It's not safe. This is a year where it's like Jumanji, okay? If you never watched the movie Jumanji, you need to take a look at it, because whoever is rolling the dice, honey, they need to end that game now, because it is crazy. Murder hornets. I never spoke about this. This is the other thing that I need to give a warning in what I see. The hornets they never came from Japan. They didn't fly across the ocean. They didn't come into, that is malarkey, okay? The murder hornets, those Japanese hornets that are now in the USA, were unleashed by people that were growing them, that were actually keeping hives of these hornets. However they were doing it, these were all released. This is an intentional release of these dark souls that are here on earth, that are being destroyed, that are being their light is being diminished by a higher power. They have unleashed this. Again, it's all a political agenda. Now, I know a lot of this sounds like a conspiracy, quote unquote conspiracy theory, but hear me out. This is a person or people that actually have released them in certain parts of the USA. This is strategic. Whoever is doing this, I do feel like they are Caucasian. I do feel like they know what they're doing. This is all intentional, and it's going to kind of be exposed. We're going to see eventually these people captured or exposed in some kind of way, and we're going to see that our bee population is going to survive all of this. But there are ways to get rid of the hornet, and I feel like we're going to see that. but it is very real. It is here, and they were unleashed by other people who were keeping hives of this, just like people keep beehives. Well, they were keeping hornet hives, or I don't even know what hornets have, but they were keeping them in an isolated area, and now they have been released into society, released into these areas, where there are bee populations. So again, this is very strategic, and it is political, and that's all I can tell you from this point. Why would people want to release something like a bee and make it political? Because anything that brings about fear, and anything that can strip us from our own higher self and our own humanity, is control. And why do people want to have control? They want to spin a narrative. They want you to be afraid, because if you are afraid and you are focused on them, you are not functioning. You're not focusing on yourself. You're not focusing on the bigger picture of what is happening out in the world. And so again, this is all about kind of, causing some kind of control. I do foresee also through the month of June, we will see something happening with oil, and this is not just through June. It's going to be throughout the rest of the year. There's something happening with the oil systems, with gas, natural gas, and also the oil systems and oil refineries and gasoline. We're going to see some prices jump up, but something is going to be disrupting the production of some of this. So I don't know what that means. Again, I'm just giving it to you as I get it. I do feel like there will be some kind of trial with vaccines in June, but we're going to see by September or October that they already have some kind of vaccine that is available for people to take. Again, if you are someone that is pro-vaccine and want to get it, you go ahead and do that. But I am not getting it, and I feel like a lot of you out there will be using your own judgment. You don't have to follow in my footsteps. So you can listen to your own judgment and make your own decision on whether or not you want to get that vaccination. Again, I also just read on the actual internet an article that 14,000, or I believe it was like 14,000, or maybe it was 1,400, I can't remember, but I read that they are wanting to have people voluntarily be injected or be infected with the coronavirus to see and study it. Like, how crazy is that, to have people infected with the virus and you would volunteer? Like, who in their right mind would want to volunteer and get infected with that virus? That is crazy talk, but it's very, very real, and it's all a darker, more sinister presence that we're seeing here on earth right now. But you need to stay strong, stay rooted in your prayers and in your faith. I honestly feel like when is this pandemic over? I really feel like we're going to see like a second strain coming out already in June in some areas like Wuhan or New York City or Italy, where there was a large hotspot in a pandemic. It was a large hotspot for the virus. Some of these areas are going to reemerge with the second strain, or we may see some more numbers. But for the most part, I feel like we are going to start seeing a little bit of a downward trend in some areas that were not hit as hard. And so again, I feel like a lot of businesses will be opening. But again, there is just so much that Spirit is revealing, and if I get any more, I can give it to you. But this is what I wanted to talk about, what I was really, led to talk about as far as like celebrities that are out there. We're seeing like Little Richard passed away. A lot of these older generations that were very wise, that were the Indigos, they are exiting this world because they are ready to be on the other side to usher in the souls that are leaving, the younger souls that are leaving, and also to prepare us for this new earth, or this new consciousness, this wave of consciousness that is weaving itself through the matrix, weaving itself through our reality. When I say matrix, I mean our reality. What we know to be true to humanity is not exactly what it is. This world has a thin veil, and the other side is very much intertwined with this world right now. So there's a lot of people that are going to be noticing that they're going to continue to have intense spiritual visitations, a lot of astral traveling, a lot of people who didn't feel like they were very tapped into their psychic abilities. Those people are going to be rising up and being kind of surprised how much insight that they're getting. And now that they had clairvoyance or clairsentience, and now these gifts are being very much activated on a very strong level, and so their sensitivity is very, very strong, and they are going to be tuning in, getting their own predictions and their own things, and kind of finding the power to share this with the world. So the world is itself, as we knew, is never going to be the same. This is a new world. This is a new state of living. But in the same way, we are still the same people, just more evolved. Our eyes have been peeled back, where we can see things a lot more clearly. But we still have, like I said, those souls that are struggling, that are not seeing things very clearly, that cannot move forward. They're stuck very much in a low negative vibration, and it's crazy. So don't get scared if you see craziness out in the world, but try to avoid it. But I feel like, again, we're going to start seeing people going back to their parks, going back into, their day-to-day routines, but a little bit more cautious, a little bit more wiser on their surroundings. So I send you big angel hugs. Thank you so much for listening to this. Follow me on Instagram, guys, and watch my stories. Psychic Medium Rates listed here on the screen. And if you've been wanting to get a reading with me, a private reading, the only readings that I have available right now on my website are emergency readings for those of you that cannot wait. On Friday, May 15th, 2020, I am going to be reopening my website to all the other readings that I used to do, like the past life readings, the mediumship readings, the 12-month year in advance reading, yearly outlook. Those are going to be coming back onto my website, in addition, in the psychic readings as well, in addition to the emergency readings. So if you are not on my waiting list and you've been wanting to be notified when that's going to happen, you can go to my website. It's listed here, www.raymondguzman.net. Scroll all the way down on the homepage to the bottom. You're going to see join my mailing list. All you have to do is add your name or an initial and a valid email address, and then hit submit. You are going to notice that you will be notified by email when I send out a mass email to let you all know that are on my waiting list, that I am taking readings back and I'm accepting readings. You'll be able to purchase your reading and book it with me. Now, the turnaround time, even though that I am getting caught up, is still going to be, tentatively speaking, 5 to 8 weeks. It could be much sooner than that, but that's the timeline that I see. I don't think I'm going to be doing what I did again. It was only for the I'm not going to probably be taking off my readings from my website ever again. This was a one-time thing. I normally don't do it, but I was really, really swamped with a lot of reading requests, so I didn't want people waiting 10, 12 weeks to get a reading, okay? So again, I feel like it's going to be okay to open up on May 15th, and I really look forward to reading for all of you that are out there that are wanting to book a private reading. So big angel hugs. Stay positive. Stay reading a book. Look at Netflix. And do what your heart and soul is guided to. Blessings and love and light. Until next time, guys. Bye.